let us peruse this section. So we have our name here, Assemmus Timsar-Dadisun. We are a dark elf. The class of witch hunter. Witch hunters are dedicated to rooting out and destroying the perverted practices of dark cults and profane sorcery. They train for martial, magical and stealthy war against vampires, witches, warlocks and necromancers, specializing in magic. Interesting. So, this does perhaps connect with the, let's say, moral scrupulosity of Assemmus. However, I believe if he was a witch hunter, he would be doing so not necessarily using explicit means, but being more cunning, being more subtle about this. It does also synergize well with his inclination towards the magical arts. So we have, in relation to this, his sign, the mage. So we have our health stats here, magicka stats there, and fatigue levels. Okay, now strength 40, intelligence 50, willpower 40, agility 50, speed 50, endurance 40, personality 30, and luck 40. So intelligence, agility and speed, it seems, are, relatively speaking, the strengths of Assemmus, and personality, relatively speaking, the weakness. We have our major skills, conjuration. Interesting. The spell effects of the College of Conjuration include the mental domination of mundane and magical creatures, summonation of otherworldly weapons and armor, and summonation of Daedric or undead servants and powers to serve and protect the caster. This is interesting. I wonder how we may, let us say, square this with the class of witch hunter. Perhaps this would be used very sparingly in the scenario of self-defense. Perhaps on occasion, in scenarios where Assemmus's curiosity supersedes his moral compass, perhaps he would very occasionally dabble in conjuration. Perhaps this would also aid him in understanding those he would be trying to hunt, the witches and necromancers, so to speak. Enchant. So this skill governs the creation, use, and recharging of enchanted items. Skilled enchanters are more successful at creating new items. Enchanted items burn less power and are recharged more efficiently from soul gems for a trained user. This could be an interesting skill that Assemmus could develop. Now I do see Assemmus being quite inclined to alchemy, particularly regarding his background in Cyrodiil, living a semi-nomadic lifestyle with his late father. So alchemy identifies magical properties in mundane substances. Substances are consumed directly or prepared as potions to provide long-lasting benefits like healing and curing disease, water walking, magical, shielding, and fortifying bodily attributes. Interesting. I believe that I may focus a little bit more on alchemy and enchant, and less on conjuration. And we have a light armor and marksman. That's interesting. Certainly the light armor could be useful for protection, and marksmanship could be useful in terms of keeping distance from the or from any enemies. Minor skills, unarmored, block, blunt weapon, sneak, and mysticism. So seems as though unarmored and mysticism are the highest values, relatively speaking. Assemmus does seem to have some skill, or a little bit of skill, probably a necessity associated with his previous life in using weapons and also sneaking. Miscellaneous skills. So we have armorer, medium armor, heavy armor, long blade, axe. Let us scroll down. Okay. And we have some others here too. Destruction and short blade seem to be, relatively speaking, slightly higher than the other values. Again, perhaps speaking to some of the natural magical aptitudes of Assemmus, but also his previous existence. Interesting. So we have our abilities that we have already noted, our powers that we have already noted, and we have our spells. Currently weak, as Assemmus is still young and has much to learn, but seems as though he does have some idea of how to use the spells of Reflect. From the School of Mysticism, reflect 10% for 15 seconds on self. Command Creature, School Conjuration, command creature 5 levels for 15 seconds on target. Tap Energy, School Mysticism, absorb fatigue 8 points for 1 second on target. And finally, interestingly, summon skeleton. School conjuration, summon skeletal minion for 15 seconds on self. Much to ponder here. But let us continue. Okay. Statistics menu. Thank you.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Let us have a read and take our papers. Thank you, Circosius.
Take your papers off the table and go see Captain Gravius.
I shall. Give me one moment, please. For release by Emperor Uriel Septum the 7th decree to the district of Vardenfell in the province of Morrowind. Our name, Assemmus Timsar-Dadisun, our race Dark Elf and class Witch Hunter. Signed, Circosius Regala, agent of the Sadanine Imperial Census and Excise. 16th of last seed, third era, 427. Okay. Okay. Sneaky look at this. Imperial glory. We are the Imperial Legion. We swear our lives and unyielding loyalty to the Emperor and his noble empire. We believe in honor, swift justice for the innocent, our unbreakable bond to our brothers in the Legion, unshakable courage in the face of death, and in the spread of civilization and culture to all people everywhere. We pledge to uphold the just and infallible imperial rule of law, and to crush the wicked, those who would violate imperial law and defile imperial values, and to serve to all imperial citizens everywhere. This is our oath and sworn fealty to the Empire and Emperor. Interesting. I don't believe Ashlander would be taking this in fear of causing offense. Good day. Timsar-Dadisun. Where to now? I'm an officer of the Imperial Legion. Move along. Very well. Thank you. I shall not tarry. Okay, Imperial Guard. I'm an officer of the Imperial Legion. Move along. Okay. I'm not sure specifically where I should go, but it seems as though I shall be heading to that door to the right. Goodbye. Not sure if Assemmus would be venturing down there. Seems that maybe somewhere where he should not be going. should learn how to do combat. Pick up the dagger on the table by activating it with space. What do we have here, though? Note to Heliska. Don't think I've forgotten our wager. I want this dagger sharp as a scamp's claw by morning. Gansia. Interesting. Items. And a book. Perhaps a sneaky peek. The firmament. The firmament by a folk. The stars at Tamriel are divided into 13 constellations. 3 of them are the major constellations, known as the Guardians. These are the warrior, the mage, and the thief. Each of the Guardians protects its 3 charges. And the 13th constellation, the Serpent. When the sun rises near one of the constellations, it is that constellation's season. Each constellation has a season of approximately 1 month. The Serpent has no season, for it moves about in the heavens, usually threatening one of the other constellations. Interesting. The warrior. The warrior is the first guardian constellation, and he protects his charges during their seasons. The warrior's own season is last seed, when his strength is needed for the harvest. His charges are the lady, the steed, and the lord. Those born under the sign of the warrior are skilled with weapons of all kinds, but prone to short tempers. The mage. This is what Assemmus adheres to. The mage is a guardian constellation whose season is Rain's Hand. Interesting. Rain's Hand. Where Magica was first used by men. His charges are the Apprentice, the Golem, and the Ritual. Those born under the Mage have more Magica and talent for all kinds of spell casting, but are often arrogant and absent-minded. I believe that Assemmus does have a certain amount of pride, perhaps a sort of subtle arrogance that is not necessarily explicit. And yes, it's probably quite absent-minded at times, being so dedicated to his quest for knowledge. Perhaps he would be neglectful of other things at times. Perhaps Assemmus would hazard one more page. I'm sure he would be a little bit concerned about tearing too long. So let us look at one more page there. We have the Thief. The Thief is the last guardian constellation, and her season is the darkest month of Evening Star. Her charges are the Lover, the Shadow, and the Tower. Those born under the sign of the Thief are not typically thieves, though they risk more often, or they take risks more often, I should say, and only rarely come to harm. They will run out of luck eventually, however, and rarely live as long as those born under other signs. Interesting. I don't believe Assemmus would be tearing any further. Nor do I believe he would be taking this book, as that would technically be stealing. So for now, I believe he shall close. What do we have here? Granulus's Survival Guide. Granulus's Survival Guide. 3 years. That's the time I spent wandering throughout the island of Vardenfell. During my travels, I observed a lot of peculiar things, and I thought, why not share my experiences? Down below, I have listed some of my observations. Good luck, stranger. Grand soul gems are truly difficult to come by. Make sure you use them wisely. Enchanting items with constant effect enchantments require souls from powerful, unique enemies. Mining ore and gathering muck require specific tools. In this case, a miner's pick and a muck shovel. City gates and shops close at night. Inns, guild halls, and other places of interest are always open for business. Summoned creatures do not contain the same amount of soul essence as their natural counterparts. Merchants have a very limited selection of their ingredients. Due to imperial bureaucrats here on Vardenfell, it's illegal for outlanders to own more than one property. This can be circumvented if you raise through the ranks of the various guilds located on the island. Interesting. If you are a valued member of the Mages Guild, you can use special magic platforms inside guilds, inside guild halls, I should say, to travel between guilds. This may be useful or helpful for Assemmus. I imagine that one day he would have aspirations to join the Mages Guild. Being able to haggle is a valuable skill. Taunting or any other way of annoying people will quickly end a conversation. Getting a high bounty will draw the attention of bounty hunters. Interesting. Again, I don't believe Assemmus would be taking this, as he would not be sure about getting himself into trouble. Map menu shows you the name of the place you are in. You're facing. Very good. Battle. Graves Ring of Healing. Glass bottle. Purse. At this time, I believe that Assemmus would be less inclined to take any of these items. This barrel is technically on the premises of the excise and census office. believe he would be quite sensitive, being a newcomer to this land, about getting into any trouble. It seems as though that the mechanics of the game will have to supersede this specific decision. Duke menu. Thank you. Okay. Good. We shall engage in conversation with the captain. Ah, good day, Sedus Gravius. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Sedus Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Police identification has been removed from your inventory. Okay. A little bit about your background, if I may venture, Sedus. I am Sedus Gravius, the knight-errant of the Imperial Legion. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about this place? Yes, you're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here, or why you were released from prison and shipped here. Nor do I. But your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII himself. I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you are a free man. But before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor, so pay careful attention. I shall. But before that, may I learn a little bit about this organization, the Imperial Legion? The Legions hire qualified recruits of proven skill and character, and provide training, goods and services at discounts. The lower ranks are common troopers and officers, but the upper ranks include the orders of the Imperial Knights. Interesting. And what of the Emperor himself, Uriel Septim VII? Yes, Uriel Septim is still the Emperor. According to my instructions, he personally authorized your release from prison and your delivery here. It's all very mysterious. But that's the way the Empire works. Silence, secrecy. Let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And what of my duties, Sedus? Okay. This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Casades in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Casades They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you, and a dispersal to your name. Okay, interesting. Before I leave, Celis, could you tell me a little bit more about the Imperials? Interesting. So I'm proud to be an Imperial. Through our legions and rule of law, we brought peace and civilization to the provinces of Tamriel. Thank you for informing me. And a little bit about their place in the Empire. All about the Empire itself. How it works. Yes, of course this is the Empire. This is Vardenford district of the province of Morrowind. And Morrowind has been part of the Empire for over 400 years. The current Emperor is Uriel Septim, 24th of the Septim line. You haven't been in prison that long, have you? Well, in honesty, I lost track of time on that ship, Celis. Nothing wrong with your head, is there? I hope not. The men said you were acting a little strange when they brought you in from the ship. I have been experiencing some strange dreams, visions, one may say. But I'll say no more. My duties. I need to find this certain Caius Casades. Could you tell me more about him, Celis? Report to Caius Casades in Balmora. I can't tell you where to find him, but you are to go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for him. Someone there can direct you to him. Very well, but where may I find this place called Balmora? Balmora is north of Sadanin. The road passes Pelagiad village and Fort Pelagiad. Crosses a deep ravine, passes Fort Moonmoth, and turns west across the Odai River and into Balmora. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmora, on the east side of the river. For more detailed directions, talk to Elone, the scout, at Adiel's trade house. Here in Sadanin. But take my advice. You're new here. Take the Silk Strider to Balmora. Fast, cheap, safe. Cross the bridge and head east. Can't miss it. Yes, I believe I saw this so-called Silk Strider. Quite a creature. Silk Striders carry passengers and cargo between settlements on Vardenfell. Fares depend on distance to be travelled. Silk Striders are giant insects. A compartment for passengers and cargo is hollowed out or hollowed from the creature's shell. The driver directs the beast by directly manipulating exposed organs and tissues. Interesting. Silk Striders travel between Aldrun, Balmora, Sadanin, Sudan, Kenensis, Molag Mar, Margan, and North Landing near Vivek. Thank you Celis, this has been a very informative discussion. I shall bid you goodbye. Okay. Press J to use your journal and review what you've been told. You should probably check out Adiel's trade house up on the left. You're on your own now. Good luck. Assemmus shall need all the luck he can get.